Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Panel to Panel, your show about comics and everything pertaining to, and the only comic book web show that has no problem chilling out with the ponies. We got no problem with it, people. Stand up, be proud. I'm Spin Dash. With me tonight is the Space Chief.
Hello.
We have Jules. Say hi, Jules.
Hello.
Pedro.
Do we have Jules?
Do we have Jules?
Hi.
Hi.
Panda will be joining us when she's able to get on. And with us tonight, doing a wonderful bonsai, making it zen around the Panel to Panel team, she's the creator and artist of the comic Gronk. You've known her from My Little Pony, Star Wars, Fraggle Rock. We have Miss Katie Cook on with us tonight. Katie, thank you for being here.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yay.
So this past week, when we got confirmation, all of us went out and read the Gronk comic.
Yeah.
I did.
That means I got
read all of it.
2 hits.
Oh, you got quite a few hits.
At least.
You got quite a few hits. In fact, I think Chief read it all in like 5 minutes. I sent him the link, and he was like back in 5 minutes, like, I just read the entire thing.
It just got Paste Magazine number 8 on their top 13 webcomics of 2013. And I was number 9, I think, last year. So I'm moving on up in the world.
Let's go for number 1 because
I lose the Harvey Award one more time.
Well, let's go for number 1 because I read it and I loved it. I was laughing my butt off like almost every single strip. I was laughing like crazy, and not just at what Gronk was doing, but at all the little subtleties that you put in there. And I want to put this out right now. I know what Duck-a-Muck is. Duck-a-Muck is one of my favorite Looney Tunes shorts of all time, and that was probably my favorite Gronk
So you
comic.
got that one.
I got that one, and I loved it. I laughed. I was like, somebody else loves Duck-a-Muck. And yes,
not everybody got that one. I got a lot of emails about
That's
that
a classic.
one. Going, what's that?
People, if you don't know Duck-a-Muck,
Children today aren't raised right.
They're not. So
a lot of little kids don't know what it is.
So with Gronk, of course, it's a monster's tale, and it's about this little female monster, Gronk, who is different from all the other monsters and goes and lives with this human female named Dale and her dog and her cat. Really funny, and I kind of, when I was reading it, I saw a little bit of Calvin in there. Tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm hitting a mark. It seemed like Gronk had a little Calvin.
You are not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Gronk kind of has developed into more of a little shit than she was at the beginning. Not only because of my influence of Calvin and Hobbes, because Calvin, while being a brat, is still the smartest person in the room, which is one of the things that I love about him. And as someone who has a 3-year-old now, and I started Gronk before I had kids, it's like, oh wait, yes, not only is your kid kind of a brat, but your kid is smarter than you. I have no problem admitting that my 3-year-old is smarter than I am. She knows how to manipulate me. And I kind of inject a lot of that into the character now.
I'm opening the floor,
Yay.
people.
One thing
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say
Sure,
one
Jules?
thing that we appreciated. I read it with my 8-year-old, and one thing that we really appreciated was the little things like the Ticket to Ride game. Like, she actually pointed that out to me, and she's like, Ticket to Ride, and I was like, yes, because like nobody knows what Ticket to Ride is. It's a board game.
I love that game where you
I own it. I love it.
Monopoly, where she throws the Monopoly in the fire, and she's like, this is so funny. So we noticed the Ticket to Ride. So like just the little subtleties in there that we noticed that we were so excited about. So I really appreciate that, because I mean, a lot of people don't know what some of this stuff is, and it's so.
It might let them look it up.
I've experienced the Monopoly thing on the... Sorry? I've experienced the Monopoly thing on the other end of it. My parents would rather burn that thing than get it out and play with it, or anybody in our house. So I got the joke.
Good
there,
for
but
them.
on the other side of it.
I also liked what
I don't know why we had that game. Why did we even have it? Nobody played it.
Everybody owns a copy of it. Nobody wants to play it.
Unless we get the Walking Dead Monopoly.
You'd still never play it. I swear, you'd still never. It would sit in the box.
You know, what
Maybe it's the coolest Monopoly ever.
Squares.
I guess
the barn could be the jail, or I'm trying to think what Walking Dead Monopoly, what your squares would be. Abandoned New York City, abandoned Atlanta, abandoned Baltimore.
Kill everything.
Ruins.
The utilities are worthless because they don't work.
Instead of going to jail,
you have a generator card.
What did I like? I like
we're putting in a standby generator, so I'm going to survive the zombie apocalypse. Because my house will never lose power because it's going to be permanently attached to natural gas. We are prepared for the zombies.
I liked, what was it? It was the strip where Gronk and the dog and the cat are dressed up as Star Trek, and Dale kind of loses her mind because they were dressed up as Star Trek. And she was like, no.
That was cute.
Well, that's
one of the things that I love about it.
My mom and my brother raised me as a Trekkie. Original and Next Generation Star Trek. I mean, my mom puts up a Star Trek themed Christmas tree.
Nice.
And, my brother could recite every line from every Next Generation, episode, and once wore, like, a Next Gen costume to high school. He was one of those. And I defected after college, and I was like, well, I love Star Trek. I've always loved Star Trek. And then I discovered Star Wars. And I was like, wait a minute. Hold up here. Because I really love the sci-fi fantasy aspect of Star Wars. And, I mean, Star Trek is really deep and philosophical. And, they're two very different things. And I will argue that all day long to non-nerds. And I love the fantasy aspect of Star Wars and the battles and the craziness. And it's all of a sudden I became a Star Wars person, and it's like I shot my mom in the heart. So it's like she'll begrudgingly buy me a Yoda ornament. But yeah, on her Star Trek tree, there's like one tiny little Star Wars ornament now, and it's a Death Star. And it's like, that's yours. That can be yours. That's good for you.
It's on the back.
I ran into Will Wheaton at a bar in Calgary, and I called my mom. I was like, Will Wheaton's here. And she said, go ask him why he doesn't have his own ornament from Hallmark. So I did. I walked up to him and asked him why he didn't have his own Christmas ornament. It's like, my mom really would like to know. And he just went, I don't know. Like I hit on a sore spot for him.
Well, what you do is you go and you find the Will Wheaton.
Been hurting him for years.
You go find the Will Wheaton Star Trek figure, and you just wrap a piece of ribbon around its neck, and then there you go. Hold it up on the tree. In fact,
give him a red satin noose and
in fact, my Will Wheaton action figure is like over there. I have my Will Wheaton action figure stood up over there in a place of honor for Will Wheaton. Now you said you're into Star Wars. Have you been checking out the new Dark Horse The Star Wars comic, which is like the Lucas script comic?
I haven't, mostly because I don't have time anymore, and now I have no money because I have children. One day, the only comic I make any time for is Lock and Key.
Oh, yeah.
Man, because I love me some Lock and Key. And it's over, but that's fine. Hellboy. But
we've been talking with him because he's about to embark, Gabriel Rodriguez, he's about to do the new Little Nemo series. And I'm a huge fan of Little Nemo and Slumberland, so I'm excited about that.
Yep, I've got my Winsor McKay oversized books up on my shelf 8 feet away, so I am excited about that.
I love this. I am loving this because I played the video game too. I actually owned the Little Nemo video game on Nintendo. I played the living snot of that, and I had the movie. And I had the movie, the one with Mickey Rooney.
The movie's great.
The movie was great. It had
the animation, that's amazing.
It had Mickey Rooney.
I haven't thought of that game in so long. Oh my god.
Oh, it was a good game. It was hard, but it was a good game. What else from Gronk? There's so much stuff. Like there's so many things I was rereading again tonight. I love it when he's walking the dog and he's like, I wonder if he can walk a cat, and then he just ties the leash around the cardboard box the cat was in and takes him for a walk. Or he's like Dale's been working so hard, so he gets the paint can and she throws the paint can down the stairs to get Dale's attention.
That's based on real life. As is the where Gronk hits the beehive with a stick. That's my own childhood. I also used to set things on fire doing things I saw from Mr. Wizard. I have a bench that's in my living room right now where the stain on the bottom and the stain on the top are two very different colors. And the light stain on the top of this wood bench is there because I set this bench on fire trying to set a Kleenex on fire with a candle because I saw Mr. Wizard do it, and he held the Kleenex above this candle and it just burst into a little puff of smoke. And I was like, oh, look at that. I can do that. And I didn't think that it was a piece of tissue paper, not Kleenex. So I set a bench on fire and tried to put it out with a tub of butter. Because I think I was 6. And my mom tells me this story to this day that I basically ran into a bench that was on fire with a tub of parquet thinking that was going to help. And basically dumped a thing of hydrogenated oil on top of an open flame. And that made it worse.
Oh.
Yeah, I finally went and got my parents. I was like, the living room's on fire. I didn't do it. And that was my parents' like sob story until my brother, when he was 12, set a 3-acre field on fire trying to make a little bomb he had in a chemistry set, like a smoke bomb.
Oh man.
My poor parents. It's like all of our bad incidents involve fire.
At least there was an attempt to do some science there. There was science was involved.
It's like, it's not like I was a pyromaniac. It was like, I saw this smart man do this. If Bill Nye put out a
I was just a big idiot.
Him doing something.
I drove the lawn tractor into our house in 3rd gear and broke it and part of the house. There was no science behind it. I was just a bad kid that decided to run the lawn tractor into the house.
Well, it's, as a kid, my brother and I lived out in the country, and we had a game that we played in this barn that was kind of an offset of the house. My dad used to rebuild cars in it, and we would turn off all the lights, and we would take books of matches, and then we would light them like this and throw them at each other in the dark. And the point was you try and basically put scorch marks in the person's shirt, and you counted them up at the end. It's like whoever had the most lost. And looking back at that as an adult, it was like, we almost killed each other. Oh my God, we're morons. But like, that would be like, you want to go have a match fight? Yes, oh my God, let's go have a match fight. So, kids are idiots. So, which is why I have 2 of them now, because I need one to offshoot, like, what an idiot the other one's going to be. They need to make decisions together. Of like, one of them needs to be a voice of reason. I hope.
Oh, no. No, you're not going to get a voice of reason. One is going to be the ringleader, and the other one is going to be the patsy. That's the way it's going to work.
That never worked with my family.
And I work. I don't want to hear that.
It's who did this.
I just spent all of this time cooking the other one.
One of the things that I enjoy about the Gronk, the webcomic, is all the geek references kind of like hidden in it, like stuff on her T-shirt, or like on the bookshelf, or on the movie titles on the DVD boxes. I thought that's really awesome. All the little subtle. It doesn't just hit you over the head. That's what I like about it. Is it's so subtle. It's just on a T-shirt that somebody's wearing.
With My Little Pony too. A lot of the complaints that some people have are that it's so chock full of references, And that's insanely not true of the storyline itself. A lot of it's background gags. Andy Price, who draws the My Little Pony comic, is a really great friend of mine. He's been my friend for years. And he just puts every tiny little thing he can think of in the background of that comic. And sometimes it's my idea, most of the times it's his. But then we go onto these forums going, well, there was a Quantum Leap reference in there, and I didn't like that. That just ruined the entire 22 pages for me, was this tiny little background gag where a pony's saying, why haven't I leaped?
The internet. Well, see, I read the My Little Pony comics. I have a 4-year-old girl who is the biggest pony fan in the world. I mean, everything. And I read it, and I loved it because, like, in the first story arc with Queen Chrysalis, I think I saw, like, Indiana Jones references and all that, and that's what I love. And then the one you were talking about, that was probably my favorite arc, was how Shining Armor and Cadence got together, because here's Cadence, the popular girl, and Shining Armor is the biggest.
Anything is the name of the arc. Yes,
but he's sitting there and he's playing the Dungeons and Dragons game, and they got the dice and all that. I was just like, this is awesome. This is like, it can happen. Geeks can become cool with the popular chicks. I loved every bit of it.
And become captain of the Royal Guard.
Exactly.
I thought that was totally making a precursor of him being a captain of the Royal Guard, is making him the paladin of his D&D group. And then I got all these people going, that's stupid. It's like, you obviously did not play Dungeons and Dragons, because let me tell you, the paladin was the only nice guy of your friends. Like, everybody else was a douchebag and was a rogue or a thief or, your mage. Don't even get me started on those guys. That's the guy that you could trust to give $20 for pizza, because he would give you your change back.
Damn it, I never played a paladin.
We got
not enough people play Dungeons and Dragons.
That just didn't get it.
I never played a paladin, damn it. Oh, man. Yeah, but that...
I was a half-elf bard.
So was I. To tell you the truth, that was what I was. Tell you the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I read one tonight that I absolutely loved with Gronk, and it was him and Dale in the woods, and there was the owl, and he looks at the owl and goes, does he have my letter to Hogwarts? No. Is he the Goblin King? No. Move on. And I loved it because people, for me, I got both references. I think kids today, they would get the Hogwarts reference with Harry Potter, but I got the Labyrinth reference. I got the Labyrinth reference. I got the David Bowie, and that's what I love about this, is it's hilarious. It's got good humor. It's got the geek references, and Dale is just so awkward. I absolutely love her. And I showed one tonight because my sister-in-law is a runner. She runs nonstop. So I was like, I got to show her the one where Dale gets the toe shoes, and then Gronk starts spraying her with a hose, and is like, no, bad Dale, bad.
That came out of a friend of mine that bought them, and it was like, why did you do that? You just became that guy. You became that guy wearing those shoes.
I heard they're really
I'd want them flesh colored if I was going to wear those.
I don't care if they're really comfy. No one can use that argument with me, or that they're better for your feet, or no, we're just gonna
toenails.
Now, I did a little searching.
Fur on them like hobbit feet.
I did a little searching online today, just so I can find some stuff, and I think I found a picture of you in your wedding dress with a lightsaber.
With a lightsaber?
And I said, "This is the coolest."
Popular one.
I said, "This is the coolest wedding ever." Because I wanted at my wedding, I wanted when the bride comes down, I wanted the Imperial March playing. I wanted the Final Fantasy music playing. I didn't get what I wanted, but I thought that was the coolest thing.
There was a lightsaber fight at my wedding, and we walked into the reception hall to the celebration music from the movie Brazil.
Nice.
Terry Gilliam fan.
That's a great movie.
Very nice.
Yes.
But yeah, it's my husband and all of his groomsmen had lightsabers like tucked into their tuxedos when they were walking down the aisle, and my maid of honor was my older brother. It's like, tradition was not first and foremost at that thing. all of the centerpieces were 1950s, like, big tin wind-up robots that were holding flowers.
Oh, that's so cool.
And, like, there were Rock'em Sock'em robots at the table, things like that.
Nice.
That's great.
We need to get invited to cooler weddings, guys. We really need to get invited to cooler
Right?
weddings.
I know, I'm always
I've never been
like,
to yeah, exactly.
Last wedding
I did get invited to a zombie wedding, but I didn't get to go.
Last wedding I went to was like sit in the
Zombie.
church, sit in the church, sit in the church.
yeah.
Oh my God.
None
So-
of that.
So what got you into the ponies? How did you get stuck with the ponies?
Well, it's I'm not
Stuck.
stuck with it. I'll be nice. But you know, I was tweeting about how much I was enjoying the show, and my older brother is the one that told me I needed to watch the new incarnation of Ponies. And it was at the beginning of season 2, and he was like, "Are you watching this? Are you watching the new Ponies?" No, I am not. Well, you got it. It's so good. And it's got this big adult fan base. Like, he was justifying it to himself. And then all of a sudden I watched it, and then I bought the rest of season 1 on iTunes, and I was tweeting about how much I enjoyed it, and then all of a sudden Bobby Curnow from IDW, who he and I have been trying to do some projects together for a while, emailed me and he said, "Say, you like the ponies? I saw it on Twitter. You want to write the comic?" I was like, okay.
There you go.
And that's my boring story of how I ended up writing the pony comic. It's not the most interesting thing. And then we were looking for an artist for a while because Hasbro actually thought my artwork was too cute for My Little Pony. And like I said, Andy's been my friend for a really long time, and I was at C2E2 and I was talking to him, and then he had all of this pony stuff on his table, and it was like, "You brony bastard, where have you been hiding this?" And we sent his artwork to Hasbro a few days later, and he was the approved artist on the book, you know, later that week. And now it's, you know, it's like working on a project with your friends. It's, you know, because Andy is someone that I can text at 3 a.m. to hash out an idea, and he's somebody that I am comfortable letting him stay in my house and things like that. So yeah, it's really working on something with a friend. It's not, you know, just a collaboration between two random people that a company threw together. And I think it shows when Andy and I are doing the book, because we are friends and we do work together to make it a better book. You know, we each have opinions. We work together to make jokes work. We work together to make plot lines work. So it's, I would never say it's just my book. It's always, you know, mine and Andy's book. Mm-hmm. So I'll put my name above his just for the sake of argument, but.
Well, we just got the Luna micro series out this past week. So the Luna came out.
Did you read it?
I am behind. I have to read it. I will admit I have not read it yet because I am so behind right now. Christmas parties at work.
I'm behind too.
Christmas parties at work. That's all I can say. Will we ever in the micro series? Are we ever gonna get a derpy story? Are we ever gonna be able to get a derpy story?
I don't think we are, and I really think that it's because she's such a character that has the heart of so many fans that the second we give her an official personality, they're going to hate us.
Right.
It's not going to be what people have in their heads, and it's not going to be, you know, because what I think of as derpy is different than what 50 other people think of derpy.
Right.
And then there's another 50 people that think of her a certain way. So like I said, the second we make her official and say this is what she's like, I think it's going to destroy a lot of hearts, and I think that she's a character that's better off with people thinking what they want of her.
So that's why she's in the background a lot. Because I remember one of the issues, like Andy. I remember like Andy, like one of the spider was like a spider, but it was like a derpy spider. Mm-hmm. So I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, you know. No, it's fine. I was going to say, you know, it's one of the things that's, you know, talking to a few little kids that are autistic that really love Derpy because they kind of think of her as their character. You know, I would never want to now give Derpy a persona where she's not that beloved spokesperson for that group, or or the people that think of Derpy as the doctor's companion, who's or someone that's secretly smart, or this. Everybody has what they think of for that character. I have no problem ruining any other character, but Derpy is very special to a lot of people, so I won't do it. I have apparently a lot of people have a personality set for Luna that I have now destroyed. And they can get over it. Because I love how I write Luna. I write her as a little manic. I write her thinking that she's really above all this and still stuck in that Luna eclipse mode where she is above the peons, above the serfs of her land. It's like, well, these ponies are here to serve me. What? And that's very apparent in the Luna micro, and there's all these people going, no, she's learned her lesson. It's like, no, that's not funny. That's
I was going to ask, because Chief's favorite pony is Dr. Hooves. That is your favorite pony, Chief, isn't it? Is Dr. Hooves.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest. I actually haven't read the comics. I was never a big My Little Pony. Spin is the resident pony fan here, but actually, I have seen the cartoon.
Enjoy the comic.
No, I know. I have seen the cartoon before, and I kind of discovered it in a weird way because I would leave the house in the morning and I would turn the TV on for my dogs, and I turned it on one day and the Hub Network was running this cartoon, and I ended up sitting there and watching it, and I ended up just getting stuck on it, going, this is the craziest thing I've ever. This is My Little Pony. This is the weirdest thing. Like, there's like all these references to things in it, and I said this is actually really good. I was going to ask you, like, what is your what do you think about having a largely adult and a lot of male fan base around the ponies and the bronies?
It's, you know what, 99.8% of the bronies are fantastic. And then it's any fandom, you get that 0.2% that are weird as shit. And like I said, that's every fan base, Actually, the weirdest person I've ever met was a Doctor Who fan. There was a woman at Emerald City Comic Con that was having me do this drawing of David Tennant, and she was carrying around this white photo album, and I realized that it was a wedding album. And she kept talking on and on about Doctor Who. And finally she went, I'm going to put this in my scrapbook. And this drawing you're doing, it's going in my scrapbook. And it's like, oh, yeah, right? And then she went, do you want to see it? And when somebody with crazy eyes says, do you want to see my scrapbook? You say yes.
Of course, yeah.
And I was looking through it. And it was all of these, like, happy couple photos that she had taken from online, and she had photoshopped her and David Tennant into all of them. And it progressed from, like, dating to their wedding. So I'm, like, flipping through this, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to put yours on this page. And I just was looking at this thing and, like, smiling at her. And in my head, I'm like, I know how David Tennant dies. He is going to disappear, and he is going to be in this woman's basement. And, oh, my God. How do I get her to go away? So, I mean, you get that level of weird in every fandom. And when people say, well, bronies are weird, you can't say that when you're wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt. You can't say that.
Oh, there's weird fan fiction for everything. The best Enterprise captain.
Yeah, it's every fandom's got a weird.
Pretty crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, have you ever gotten threats like Dan Slott actually received like a death threat over Superior Spider-Man? Have you ever had the pony fans get angry?
Yep, I get nasty emails about how they don't like how I've portrayed a certain character in the comic because it doesn't match what their headcanon is or what they really think the show is trying to get across with that character. Most particularly Rainbow Dash, who is not my favorite character, and people think that I write her as kind of a dick, which she is. And, I've gotten some nasty letters about that. And I basically was like, well, I'm just going to forward that on to HR and never read it again. And then I got one during the Shining Armor Cadence arc, saying that I was an awful human being because I had just destroyed the continuity of their fan fiction of how Shining Armor and Cadence met. And then they sent me all of their fan fiction and told me to educate myself.
Oh, man.
Well, I've noticed with Twitter and stuff that there's a lot of hate in the geek community, more than you would think. When you can safely hide behind your monitor or your keyboard and you can say whatever you want, there's a lot of hate gets thrown around. That I see it to other comic creators on Twitter a lot, just get hateful stuff thrown their way about this and that, and I just can't believe it. It's like this is comic books. This is supposed to be fun. Why do you take this so seriously?
In my defense, I have never said I hated the writing. I have never said I hated the art. I just said there's a certain character I do not care for. In my defense. So there.
Defend yourself, man.
I have to defend myself. Don't like the book. Jules, you had a couple questions off of Twitter, correct?
Oh, yes. I put out a tweet to ask questions, and I got, looks like 3. At Apple Magnum asked, will Katie come back to BronyCon? She was great to meet last time.
Right now I'm a maybe at BronyCon. They have asked me to come back, but there are 2 other conventions that weekend. One in Vancouver and one in Germany that I've been invited out to. So I'm kind of just weighing what I want to do, because it is the weekend after San Diego Comic-Con. And I spend a week out in San Diego because it's my biggest show of the year. And I do 17 shows a year.
Oh, goodness.
So it's really sitting down and deciding what I want to do. And BronyCon is in Baltimore, and I really want to do Baltimore Comic-Con this year. So it's one of those, do I really see the point of going to the same city twice in basically 5 weeks? There's very little point to that. So yeah,
well,
it's a maybe.
Well, we're hoping to be. Some of us are hoping to be at San Diego, so we'll definitely, if we're there, we definitely want to sit down and chat with you. And I'm in Virginia, so Baltimore's a hop, skip, and a jump for me when Baltimore Comic-Con rolls around.
I am in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So I love
My sister-in-law used to live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. To tell you the truth, she used to live up there.
I guess she was a U of M person.
Well, what's real bad is my sister is an Ohio State fan, so she was in Michigan, and that just doesn't mix. I'm gonna go.
Allowed. It's totally allowed.
I'm gonna go. Panda had asked a question because she hasn't been able to jump on yet because of work. She's asking, is there any possibility about a monthly Equestria Girls comic after the annual, which was Equestria Girls? Is that just a one-time deal, or are they thinking of taking it farther?
As far as I know, it was a one-time deal. If they ever decide to make it a monthly, I would not be the one writing it because I was not the biggest fan. I mean, it was cute. It was super cute, but it was a made-for-TV movie to sell toys, and a lot of people need to realize that that's what Hasbro is at heart. They're a toy company, so they're allowed to do whatever they want with their brand. I guess, if we could expound upon the world in the comics, maybe we could make it a little bit better. But, I don't see a lot of point, because if there's not going to be another special with them as humans, then I think that the line is dead. The red wedding of Equestria Girls has happened there. The toys are out, the movie's out. It's like no more.
They're all right now currently under my Christmas tree. They're all under my Christmas tree because that's all my daughter wanted for Christmas was Equestria Girls.
Yeah, that's my daughter already has all of them. Grayson has moved on. She saw a Monster High doll that her cousin had and was like, "What's that?" Like, oh God. But then Target had them on sale for $10 each.
Yes, they did.
I was like, oh,
we were there on Black Friday.
Yeah, the Toys R Us give one of those cool Boris Karloff Frankenstein ones. Like, no, this This is much better.
No, you go to Toys R Us and you get the
Boris
Adam
Karloff.
West Batman doll. You get the Adam West Batman doll.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you want. You want
I
Adam
saw
West.
those.
Yes, we went to Toys R Us in New York City looking for the Adam West Barbie, right? And so my husband's like, I think this is it, and it wasn't it. And I said, no. I said, Finn sent me a picture. It looks like a Barbie. It's Adam West as a Barbie. And he's like, I think you're wrong. And I was like, well, let's go. So we go look, and we find him, but we found Catwoman. It was like $50. And I showed it to my 3-year-old, and he like grabbed it out of my hands because he loves Catwoman. And I wanted to buy it, but I was like, oh, $50. That's so much for a Barbie. Like, I kind of wish I would have just bought both of them, and then I would have had like the Catwoman and the Batman, but that would have been $100. I was like, oh, man.
I would rather have Adam West as Barbie. That would be even
Yeah,
a better
I just got it.
action.
And then we just happened to see Catwoman, and he kisses Catwoman every day. Catwoman is like his girlfriend. So I was like, oh, man, I don't know which one he would like better. So, but anyways, yeah.
What would make this
We
story
really
better
saw it.
is if you said, by the way, my son is 17. This is Catwoman every day.
Yeah, he's 3, and he is a
He's going to
Batman
Princeton next year.
fan, so.
All right, Jules, next question.
Next question. Hang on, let me get it here. At Equestria Guy asks, Sword in the Stone or Dumbo?
Sword in the Stone.
Yes.
Dumbo is depressing
I agree with that.
and slow.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
It's scary.
And if I ever hear an elephant
Elephant's on
sing
parade.
Baby Mine, I'm going to cry.
I'm thinking
Sword in the
Pedro.
Stone is a masterwork of Disney animation.
I'm thinking Pedro seeing the pink elephants on parade right now, aren't you, Pedro?
Well, he was he's bad. I didn't even know he was there this whole time.
Yeah, he's been here.
I can't see him.
He's all wore out
He's
from
so
his
quiet.
Christmas party he was at earlier, where he's wearing his Court of
I know
Owls
he's at a
mask.
Christmas party.
You saw-
Yeah, wearing an owl
That's a cool match,
mask.
Pedro. That's a cool match.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, I'll let it slide. 2 o'clock in the morning in Brazil. In your how cold is it there, Pedro? By the way, in Brazil?
Come on.
30 degrees.
Oh,
Oh, boo-hoo.
No. Is this seriously 30
That's
degrees there?
Celsius.
There's no way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a shirt all day.
Is it 30 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit? Wait a minute.
Yes. Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
remember how I said I
Both.
live in Michigan? Michigan.
Northern Illinois, for me, and everything is ice outside right now. It is a sheet of ice
Yeah.
everywhere.
Why you over
Get out there and start
It's like,
get out there and start scraping because
It's
I'm
gonna be
on my
60
way
tomorrow.
next week, Chief. You better start scraping because I'm on my way next week.
I got a snowblower now. It's all good.
You said you had one
See,
more.
I
Be
live
here
in the
tomorrow.
country, and I have a driveway that is the length of, like, a football field. So I have learned to pay somebody that whenever it snows more than 1.5 inches, this magical truck just appears at 6 a.m. and plows my driveway and shovels all my walks and salts. And I don't have to do any of it.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
All right, Jules, you got one more
That's even
question,
better.
right?
one more question. Let me see. At Chevistan asks, are you and Andy Price working on a new Friends Forever issue?
No comment.
Good enough for me.
No comment.
Good enough for me.
Ooh.
I'm not allowed to say a lot of stuff.
Well, moving on. Panda did also ask, what do you think
If you
about
can't
the...
figure it out from that, I swear to God, you're a moron.
Panda also wanted to ask, 'cause Panda, our other panel member, Panda, this week, she has dove headfirst into the My Little Pony collectible card game. She has dove into it. She wanted to know what your thoughts were on it. I know it's nothing having to do with the comics, but she just wanted to know.
I liked Magic. Therefore, that is the only experience I have with a collectible card game. I don't know anything about it.
What about Hero Clicks?
I hope they put one of the
Fair
comic
enough.
characters in it.
What about Hero Clicks?
Yeah, Hero Clicks. I
did
love that
not
game.
do Hero
They should make
Clicks.
it.
I know a lot of people that loved HeroClix, and I did not get into it. And it's like, that's like, right now, once I got into adulthood, and especially when I started freelancing for a living, I cut so much stuff out of my life, like video games. I was sitting here, and I've actually taken, some time off because I have this brand new baby. Not a lot, because since I've turned in 3 scripts, 8 covers, and a bunch of other stuff since I had the baby. So I'm not taking that big of a break. But I was sitting there and I was in the PlayStation Network store and I was like, oh, I could buy the new Diablo and play Diablo for like 4 weeks. And I was like, if I have this in my house, I'm never getting anything done again. What is wrong with me? Ooh, I could buy Diablo. I just slapped myself. There are certain things that are not allowed in this house anymore, and like video games and whatnot are one of them. But yeah, I played Magic the Gathering every morning of high school. If the pony game is anything like that, good on ya.
Yeah, I did see your cover for Pretty Deadly on your site that you just did the cover for Pretty Deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
pretty
that is
cool.
fantastic. I love it.
Yep, I did a variant for Pretty Deadly #1. I just finished up a pony cover that I consider my Muppet Babies homage. And I did 8 Marvel covers. I have a Littlest Pet Shop cover that I'm working on, just to make all the bronies mad. And, oh my god, what else am I doing? Oh, I'm doing another pony cover that I just agreed to that has a Canadian theme.
Well, after looking at some of your work today, I think DC should let you draw a cover for Harley Quinn, because I loved your Harley Quinn.
I think that DC
Yeah, the women at DC stickers, that's really
an all ages Wonder Woman story. Wonder Woman's has been my favorite character since I was a kid, and I'm so unimpressed with some of the DC stuff now, and I'm so saddened that they don't have all ages material. And as a parent, it's like, so Tiny Titans is over and you're not going to replace it with anything, or I don't have Wonder Woman stories that I can give my kid. That's, I have 2 daughters. It's like, that's really irritating to me. And I would really love to see like an all ages Wonder Woman comic, or, you can't really make an all ages Batman comic because he's just going to be sitting there talking about dead parents, and that's really depressing.
Well, they got what? They got Batman, Little Gotham.
Little Gotham is kind of like that.
They got Little Gotham.
Little Gotham, it's cute.
And Jules, didn't you say that Tiny Titans is coming back? Didn't Art and Franco tell you that Tiny Titans is coming back?
Is coming back.
Yeah.
I'm like obsessed with Art and Franco. So when we went to New York Comic Con, we were standing there for like an hour, it seemed like, but they told me right there, they were like, Dan Didio just came earlier and said that, tell everybody Tiny Titans is coming back. And he's like, really?
Good.
Tell everybody? He's like, tell everybody, just start telling everybody. So he told
What
us.
was the one
and I
that you
like,
used to read, Jules? Was it Superman Family Adventures or something like that? Didn't they cancel
Yeah,
that?
That was their
Family
other one after
Adventures.
they stopped doing
Yeah.
Tiny Titans. They did that one.
And then now they're
Well,
doing
I'd love
Itty
to
Bitty
see
Hellboy, which
more,
actually
like-
is really good.
Yeah, it's cute. But I'd love to see more stuff like Supergirl in the 8th grade and, really good all ages material. And it's so sad when I'm like, okay, here are the 2 DC titles I can give my kid. Here are the 2 Marvel titles I can give my kid. And Marvel has such a bank now of all the Disney properties. Why aren't they doing the Muppet comics again? Why aren't they doing all of this stuff? They're just really losing out, because they could be putting out Mickey comics and things like that, because Mickey's a really hot property again. They could be putting out some really weird, bizarre Disney princess adventures. I would love to see like bizarre Disney princess stories that still have a moral, because I have to deal with a lot of Disney princess stuff, let me tell you. So I'd love to see something that's actually well written, not Ariel goes to the ball and tries on her shell necklace and it looks so pretty, but it's purple and it really clashes, so we got to go find a new one, and that's the plot line. I want not that.
That's why
Let's
I'm
do
glad.
not that.
That's why I'm glad my daughter's favorite princesses are Rapunzel, because I have no problem with Rapunzel because she beats people with a frying pan. That's fine with me. And Merida. Those are her two favorite, Merida and Rapunzel. She likes Cinderella too, but she really likes Merida and Rapunzel, so I'm happy about that. And I'll put this other, I'll do anything for that Harley Quinn drawing because that was awesome. I love Harley Quinn.
I love Harley Quinn. But,
it's an interesting point though to say like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, I was gonna say Marvel and DC. They don't have hardly any kids comics out. Like almost all your kids comics are from independent publishers, like your IDW or Boom or something like that.
Licenses.
Kaboom or whatever.
IDWs, it's all My Little Pony, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and things like that. So you're gonna see them as licenses. I'd love to see some great original content for kids and more just even the licenses, because that's how you're gonna hook kids, is doing a comic based on the characters that they already love. But if kids don't read comics, we're not gonna have adult comic readers in 30 years.
Yep.
And
Right.
that puts all of us out of a job. And I really hate when I sit there and, I hear comments that have been made on panels of higher-ups at DC saying, we don't make comics for kids, we make comics for 44-year-old men. It makes me want to slap somebody. Because if my kids grow up not liking comics, what am I going to do? It's like I'm going to have this 20-something-year-old kid yelling at me like, Mom, give up your dream. Comics are dead. Besides, who even reads those things anymore? They're so old. It's like, oh, my God. My daughters are going to grow up in a society where rage comics and, like, those awful meme comics are the norm. And, like, well-written and well-drawn stuff is a rarity. And that is so depressing. That is, like, so depressing. I was at one comic book convention this year, and I was signing a Gronk book, and, for this little girl and her dad, and his teenage son was standing there, and he went, yeah, I make comics. I make the front page of Rage comics all the time. And it was like, fuck you. You're a terrible person. I just slapped the father of like, you did something wrong. You were allowed to have an abortion when it's a 16-year-old. He can be gone now. You were a justifiable murderer. You brought him into this world. You should take him out.
That Yale stood towards JLH. Was published and printed. I would buy it, and I'm not a kid. I love the story of Yale, and so as Scott Young Babies, he has a story about. I love this. I don't understand why people, why Marvel or DC don't publish stuff like that, like heroes with young heroes. This is pretty cool. It's like you said, sometimes young people will read this and later on will start reading more adult things. Sorry, my English.
No, it's fine. Well, no, it's one of those things. It's like, when you show, let's take like a 7-year-old boy, generic 7-year-old boy or girl, and show them something like Mouse Guard. Something with a lush environment and amazing characters and great writing. They are going to get sucked into it. Yep. But, what comic companies try to give them is cookie cutter, watered down, like I was talking about the Disney princess stuff. And that's not what a kid really wants at heart. That's learning how to read material. Right. And it's disappointing that so many kids, when people think of kids comics, they think of that really watered down kind of storyline. And I tell a lot of people today, because I grew up reading Archie comics, and never in my entire life, as someone who is in their 30s, would I think that I would tell people now that Archie Comics is the most progressive of all the comic book companies. Not only are they still putting out all ages content, they have their high school characters in complicated, the love triangle between Betty and Veronica and occasionally Cheryl. But, we have interracial couples. We have gay couples and gay marriage. We have a gay high school student, and just all of these things that other companies aren't touching, Marvel and DC included. And Archie Comics is like, do it.
Yep.
And y'all thought I was weird. Y'all thought I was weird when I said I'm going out and buying some Josie and the Pussycats comics. Y'all thought I was weird when I said I was going to buy some Josie comics. Because 10-year-old spin.
Do everything you can to support the people at Archie because, man, they are doing something good for this industry.
Guys, do I support Archie
Dan
at
Parents
all?
a hug.
Do I support Archie at all? 10-year-old spin walks into a 10-year-old spin walks into a comic book store and sees a Sonic the Hedgehog comic, and here I am, all these years later, and I have almost every issue of Sonic the Hedgehog. Almost every issue.
And half of Tracy Yardley's personal collection.
Yes, and half of Tracy Yardley's personal collection is now mine, because me and him worked a deal, and I got half of his personal collection. So I support Archie, because I've always said Archie is a fantastic publisher with the things, because you've got the superheroes, you've got the licenses with Mega Man and Sonic, you've got the regular Archie books, Sabrina. Really, I think the only book that you could say was kind of a kid's book at Marvel as of right now, and it just ended, was Emerald City of Oz, which of course was an adaptation of the Emerald City of Oz done by Scotty Young. That's probably the only book of Marvel that you could say was, all ages, I guess you could say. From them. Yeah.
That's disappointing.
Yep.
One day they'll let me do my all ages Deadpool story. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
Today is
I would read that in a heartbeat.
I've pitched it. They have a concept for it, and I basically got, oh my god, this is so funny. No one will ever buy it.
Well, you've sold 5 copies of that right now, at least. Here.
Yeah.
Or how many there? I can't see how many people we have on camera right now.
Only I could get a note back from a Deadpool story going, this is too weird. Like, it's too weird.
See, now I have to get, because I have to get it going, Chief.
We need to start a petition.
Well, I need to get it going, Chief, because I have my script already in the works for the Howard the Duck series that I've written, because I think Howard needs to come back. So Katie and I may talk.
Oh, is that the one where we get the concept of Howard and Rocket Raccoon get together? And
no. It's the one where Howard is getting pissed off because he, in Civil War, in the Civil War storyline, they basically said, Howard, we don't think we're not even going to acknowledge you anymore. Because,
yeah.
And Howard's kind of mad because he's like, what the hell? Iron Man can destroy a city. The Hulk can destroy a city. And they're seen as heroes. I go out there and I face these crazy people and I'm crazy and nobody likes me, and now they call me an inhuman and think I'm an inhuman, and so he tries to go.
Howard the Duck and Rocket Raccoon go through a magical mirror.
We've talked
and go through the portals to the Equestria Girls territory, and they become teenage humans.
I want him to create the unrealistic. I want
zombie
Howard
issue for some reason.
I want Howard to create the unrealistic Avengers, and it's Howard the Duck and Peter Porker, the superior Spider-Ham. And those characters are the unrealistic
Avengers. And that's
Avengers.
just all the Great Lakes Avengers, just because they're there.
Darn right. Okay. So Katie, it's been fantastic. Go ahead, Pedro. Go ahead.
I just want to say about that. Here in Brazil, we don't have much comics going on. We have a comic book who's like how would say like Peanuts. Monica's Gang. I don't know if you guys heard of it. And
I know what it is.
This is all age comics. They always try to put disabled characters with problems, with some kind of social validation. So I grew up reading this, and it's the same thing again and again and again. So we are they are about 15 years of this way, all ages can read it. And I guess I don't know if it's published there in America, but it's a good way to kids start to read it. I'm sending news to my crew here, but I think it's awesome because they kind of bring a message too. So if you guys can find them, I wish you guys could read it.
But you're going to be sending me one, right?
Yes.
We'll be getting some here. That's right.
Well, Katie, I want to thank you.
One thing I did want to add, though, is that...
Go ahead,
Sorry,
Jules.
sorry. My
just
daughter,
gonna
we looked
sleep.
at your art because we love your art. So we were looking at
Thank
pictures,
you.
and she was like freaking out and everything. But she saw we are big Miyazaki fans, and she saw an art that you did that had the different ones. So where is there a place that I could go to order that? Like, just go to your site?
My
We would
online
love to buy
store.
one.
That's the Miyawazaki print. It's 5.5 by 17.
Yeah.
It's the store is down until January 2nd. I took it down for Christmas after I got all the Christmas orders out because I'm going down to Greensboro for a week. And actually, the little bonsai that I'm working on right here, I built all of these little Totoros that are going into it. This is my husband's Christmas gift.
Oh my gosh.
So this is going to be a permanent bonsai for his desk at work.
Oh, we love
Well, this will air after Christmas, so it won't be ruined. In case you happen to see it anywhere.
This is a stick from our yard that I've twisted into this shape, and then all of these fake leaves. And now I built all these little Totoros that are going to go into it because My Neighbor Totoro is my daughter's favorite movie.
That's
And
our
we
favorite.
live in the woods. And she goes out and she's like, Totoro, Totoro. And it's the most adorable thing in the world. So this is my homage. Because I'm at a point now where after being with Ryan for so long, it's like I have given him every Christmas gift on the planet. So now I make presents. Which I don't know if that is like, he's like, oh God, another handmade gift. Ugh. 1 year I'd like a TV.
Well,
On Twitter I'll post the reaction of how this goes.
Well, I will say this: I'll be hitting up the shop after it comes up because I know my daughter would love something pony, and I would love the Harley Quinn. And I want to thank you for being on with us tonight. Thank you for talking with me and setting this up. I hope you've had fun with us tonight.
I have, thank you. I'm sorry that I am an old person and I'm like falling asleep right now. It's like smack on the table.
No, it's perfectly fine, and I hope we can have you back in the new year. When after a while, have you back in the new year. Maybe once we hit our 50th episode, maybe this is like episode 33 right now. Maybe we'll bring you back on the 50th for a big get together with people. Well,
it's in March. Awesome. My next 4-issue arc of Ponies starts, so that'd be a good time because I can talk about because I'm doing the history of Celestia and Star Swirl the Bearded.
Let's book it. Awesome. Let's book it. Let's book it. It's done. It's done. We're doing that. We're done. We'll keep in contact. For all of those who are listening, if it's before or after, I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll be before. It should be before. Remember 27th of December, Chief, Panda and I, Rockford, Illinois, Anime Apocalypse. We are there doing a live show and panel on comics. We're going to have cool giveaways. We got some variant covers that we're going to be giving away. We're going to be eating at Rockford, Illinois' #1 Mexican restaurant, Taco Bell. So we will be...
Yeah, voted by the people of Rockford as the #1.
We are going to be filming...
the #1 restaurant in my town.
We're going to be filming a lot of stuff.
That's
eating
terrifying.
Taco Bell, doing some movie reviews while we're up there. So come out, check us out. Also, remember, Panel to Panel, this is a podcast now. We do have a podcast. Check us out on iTunes at Panel to Panel. It's free. All of our podcasts are free. So go get them. Listen to them. They're cool.
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for, people? Go get them. Until then, we thank you all. So good night, good evening, and good luck. And Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate, have a happy holidays, love each other, love your comics. Thank you and good night.